Yes. So when I saw that and there was a casket like literally right there on stage, and I was like, is this him?
How are you doing today, Pierre?
I am doing great because if I say anything else, nobody would care. Like, you ever ask somebody how they're doing and they say, well, I'm not great. My mom's in the hospital, and my dog died, and my wife's cheating on me.
Okay, next question. What first got you into comedy?
My ex-girlfriend and I were at the Laughing Skull Lounge, just eating, and I was there just cutting up. And one of the waiters was like, hey, you should sign up for the open mic. And I was like, what is that? And he was like, it's a comedy night. And I was like, oh, nah. And then the girl I was dating took a picture of it, signed me up on the low. And then we went back there and it was a comedy night, and I got on stage and performed.
Any comedians before that inspire you? Any influences?
No. So I was a very street-oriented individual before I did stand-up comedy. And so put it like this. I used to watch like Martin and watch movies with Chris Rock and Chris Tucker and stuff, but I did not know that they were comedians. I just thought they were funny actors. So I really didn't know anything really about stand-up comedy until I started doing it.
And after you started, who would you say right away sort of sparked the that creative spirit in you?
Ali Sadiq, DC Young Fly, Carlos Miller, and at the time, Andrew Schultz.
Who's your dream comedian to tour with?
Ali Sadiq. And I don't want to say it because it's Dave Chappelle. I feel like whenever you say one of those names, it's like, who's your favorite basketball player? They're like, oh, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Steph Curry. It's like the top three, but it would be Dave Chappelle and Ali Sadiq. Great storytellers.
I kind of feel the same way when people mentioned Carlin and Pryor.
That too, right? Like, who's your favorite comedian? Like, you're going to say those three, like, of the Mount Rushmores, yeah. So, personally, when my favorite comedians are comedians that I've actually seen, had a conversation with, and, seen them actually perform really well, and I'm like, okay, that is something else.
What's the most surprising reaction you've gotten to a joke?
So, I'll say this, because I've said it on stage, I just remember. So, I have a joke where I, say the N-word a couple or a lot of times. And I told that same joke in Cartersville, Georgia, and I was the only black person there. It was like 100 plus people, and there was a very old woman sitting up front, and the whole time she was just kind of sour-faced staring at me. And then when I got off stage, I was trying to find a guy to pay me my money so I can get home safely. And when I was talking to him, this old lady, she came scooting up, and she had the walker with the tennis balls on it. And she was like, can I tell you something? And I was like, yes, ma'am. And she was like, I am 94 years old, and I thoroughly enjoyed that joke of yours.
And that's the woman you fought?
No, I let her go.
How does it feel to be a finalist?
It feels really good. I was nervous. I'll say, this is no hate. This is no hate. Carter did his thing. I'm mad they allowed him to compete. Keep it a bean with you. Like, Liz, I am not a hater, but what I'm about to say is gonna sound and feel like it. I was like, but I've been doing comedy 8 or 9 years, and I've never been publicly outdone by a rapper. All of the comedians lost to a battle rapper. It was good though. Shit, I'm gonna be real. Within the first 25 seconds of him being on stage, they started clapping, and I was like, God damn. He ain't even talked about the holy mackerel yet. He up in that bitch slapping. And then they just kept laughing. And I was like, man, that money getting further and further away from me. I was in the back, man, and I went outside to smoke a cigarette, and I still heard them laughing. I was like, y'all really eating this shit up.
What's the craziest place that you've ever traveled to for a gig, and why?
There's two. One was a sex shop. I did not know it. I'm lying. I knew it was a sex shop. Every single wall in that place was covered with dildos, but they had couches and sex cushions and shit all around the couch, and they were demonstrating to people how to use it. And then they're like, all right, so your first comedian. And the second one, most hilarious, was 3 years ago. It was at a funeral. This is true. I did not know it was a funeral till I got there. Pulled up at the address, and I looked, and it was a couple of hearses. People were outside wearing all black, crying and shit. So I called the lady who booked me and I said, is this the address at such and such and such? She was like, yeah. I said, is this a funeral? She was like, it is. I said, do they know I'm here to tell jokes? She was like, no, it's a surprise. I said, I'm going to die up here. And then she paid me $500 to do 30 minutes and she paid me $250 up front. So she was like, is this a problem that it's a funeral? And I said, yeah, because I already spent that money. But I walk in, I need to say this on stage. I don't because it's just hella weird. But I walk in, it was a stage, and I was like, are you going to just introduce me or bring me out cold? And she was like, what does that mean? And I was like, oh, just tell them my name, Piere Escargot, and I'm going to tell some jokes. And she was like, okay. She walks out. It was a stage, like, you know, and this is the thing. It was all black people at this church when I saw the people sitting around, and it was a white woman that booked me. So I thought it was a scam already. And then she was like, hey, everybody, I'm the event coordinator here for the blah, blah, blah. And just want to let you guys know we brought a comedian out to tell some jokes. So make some noise for Pierre. And I hear somebody in the back go, what the f? I walk out on stage and they had like a projector screen and it was a white dude. And he had dreadlocks and gold teeth. And he had 3 teardrops and like tattoos all up his neck. So when I saw that and there was a casket like literally right there on stage and I was like, is this him? And then all the black folks were like, yeah. And I said, what's his name? Because it said like, rest in peace, Charles. And I was like, because I know y'all did not call him Charles. And somebody said Lil Shooter. And I said, I'm assuming Lil Shooter did not die from high blood pressure. This casket's closed. Everybody started laughing. I was like, oh, thank God. I mean, maybe not, but you know. And I had a really great set. And then before I got off, you know, I was like, look, I'm not racist. I know we all have friends and we love each other. Look, God bless everybody, my guy. But I know he's white, right? And they were like, yeah. And I said, and all of y'all are black. They were like, yeah. I said, where are his parents? And they said he was adopted. And I said, by the streets. And that's what took him to. Nobody laughed at that part, but I still got my money.
Any final thoughts?
Nah, you know, just really a big fan of the Helium in the community and stuff that they build here to give me a stage to show off my stone cold at all times. And whenever they'll have me, I'll be black if that's all white with you.